Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Action Figure Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Trendmasters ID4 Independence Day Electronic Alien Attacker from 1996. I purchased this a few years back on Amazon. I believe it was 2009. I want to say that I got it. Actually more than a few years. And I was really excited to get it at the time because although I had some of the Independence Day Alien figures as a kid when the movie initially came out, I never had the Alien Attacker. I never had either this vehicle or the other vehicle, the FA-18 Hornet. So it was really cool to finally be able to step back, but I hadn't opened it up until now. With Independence Day resurgence in theaters, I thought, hey, why not pull some of those older Independence Day toys out and take a look at them? So really excited to do that. And looking at the packaging, it was quite simplistic for the Independence Day toy line. You get a profile view of the alien biomechanical suit on the upper left. I really like the font where it says ID4 and Independence Day. It says try me. It's got a button, but when I press the button, it seems like the batteries that may have been in there from the factory are dead. So I'm going to have to put new ones in there. On the right, it says Computer Adventure Mission Disc number 8. You do get floppy disks with each of the Independence Day toys. For those of you under 20 years of age, you probably have no idea what I just said. Bottom left, Electronic Alien Attacker. It shows you a look at the toy itself to contrast from the portrait of the toy at the focal point of the packaging. And then it says Alien Pilot Figure included. Ship lights up for authentic ID4 look, earth-shattering flight sounds, 2 alien missiles really fire, and you get 4 of them, and then 2 multi-burst plasma bombs, and then it says warning, choking hazard, ages 4 and up. The back of the box is quite similar. It says Electronic Alien Attacker, shows you a larger image of the toy along with all of the accessories. Talks a little bit about the battery replacement, how to do that. Interesting that that's on the box rather than on an instruction sheet. And then just a little bit of information there about what you get. And it's the same thing that we saw at the front of the box. And then it says collect all 11 of the mission discs. So each ID4 toy has one of these floppy disks, each with their own unique mission. I remember as a kid trying this one out. I think my brother had gotten that one with one of his alien figures. And we could never really get it to work quite well. Maybe our computer was too outdated back in 1996 to handle one of these floppy disk games. UPC there, don't mix old and new batteries. And you can visit them online, trendmaster.com. Not even sure if that toy company is still around. And then ID4.com. Top of the box is basically just a repeat, as is the very bottom. And then the sides are the same thing. All right, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get this removed from the packaging. That way we can take a closer look and see what it's like. Really excited to do this. It has been 20 years since this toy was released. And yeah, really anxious to get it out of that box and see what we got. So let's go ahead and do that. Lift up the tab. And there we are, right there, brand spanking new. See if there's anything else in the box. Nope, doesn't look like it. So it looks like everything is packaged in here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few minutes, get this out of this cardboard insert and get it set up. That way we can see what the toy is like. All right, my friends, so here is the Alien Attacker out of the box. You do get an instruction sheet that tells you how to place everything, how to get the pilot in there, how to position the bombs, how to put the hatch on, and so forth. It's not too difficult to do it. It is a little bit tricky though in some regards because the instructions aren't exactly very clear on how you get the cockpit on and how you insert a couple of bombs. I'll show you all that in just a bit. But just looking at the Alien Attacker here itself, it looks pretty good. Now, there were 2 versions of this produced. There was this one here, which is the regular one that we saw in the film. And then there's one that has more of a metallic paint scheme. It's a little bit rarer, but it's supposed to be like the attack squadron leader or something or other. I don't have that one, but, you know, I'd rather have what we saw in the film anyway. So this looks very nice. And from a sculpting standpoint, it does look quite good. It does resemble quite well the attackers that we saw in the film. And I think they did a pretty nice job in that respect. Just looking here at the aesthetics, it's got a pretty nice sculpt to it. Plenty of little details in there, you know, just to make it look enough like the alien attackers that we saw on Independence Day. And coloration is very simple. You basically just get gray plastic and then translucent blue plastic interweaved throughout the design. And for the most part, it looks pretty good. I think they did a good job of capturing that aesthetic from the film. Here's the window right here where the pilots would be looking out. Of course, you can't see anything through the plastic. And then here at the bottom, you have some decent detail as well. You don't see any blue on the bottom though. You get a couple of rockets, you get a couple of bombs that are placed in these chambers. And first things first, when I got this out of the box and was preparing to put the batteries in, I was a little bit scared because I noticed that one of the battery terminals was corroded, but it still works. Basically, for the electronics, you have two buttons back here. You go ahead and press one. You get a ship noise, press it again. Another ship noise like it's flying around. The next one is a blast. The next one is a sequence of blasts. And they really didn't even need to put two buttons on here because they do the exact same thing. But it is pretty cool just looking at it, how the translucent plastic lights up when you press the button. At least on some areas of the ship. That is pretty cool. Didn't do that in the film, of course, but you know, for the toy, it's nice that they incorporated that. Now you do get these launching missiles down here. You will see that there's one on this side and one on this side, and they provide you with 4 different missiles. They're all the same, but you know, I like spares. I think that's very cool when they do that. A lot of companies these days won't include spares because they're not saving any money by doing that, but it's very nice that you get 2 spares here. And to launch both of those, if you look at each of the launchers, they have a button on the side. So what you're going to do is basically just press that button. I'm going to show you how that looks going this way. And they pack a little bit of a punch. The springs aren't all that strong, but hey, it works. And these are referred to as heat-seeking missiles. Not quite sure if the aliens used these in the film. I don't recall them doing so, but they did shoot green lasers, so I wonder why they didn't paint these green instead. Either way, cool. At least they have some paint detail on them. A lot of the time missiles are just like one solid color. You also get some bombs, and I mentioned that they're placed down here. You will see that there is a button right here. You simply pull that back, and you'll see that that opens up. Now to get them out, here at the top, you're going to see there's these buttons right here, and you just press them, and then they just fall out like that. You got to press kind of hard, and the bombs themselves aren't really anything to write home about. They're very simplistic. They actually look kind of strange. They don't really look like bombs, but hey. To get them in is a little bit strange though, because if you look here at the bottom of the ship, you will see that those holes right there that you place them in, there's these little notches cut out from the side. You get the same thing on the bombs, so you basically just want to line them up with those notches. It's kind of hard to see. But then after you get them in, you do have to kind of press. There you go. Just kind of got to press it in so that it stays put. And then you can close it and then do the same thing over again. Just open that port. Oops, and then push from the top. Now the one thing that I struggled the most when assembling this was getting the hatch on it, because it just seems like it's going to break. I mean, as it is, the material that this is made of is just a plastic that doesn't seem like all that sturdy. In fact, you can see it's kind of like crunching and making sounds. To open it though, you have to pull it up. Yeah, and it doesn't even come up all the way. You still kind of gotta, see what I mean? It just like, it's in there, but it doesn't really flex like all the way. So we'll just take it off. And basically you have the alien attacker pilot in there, and this is kind of like a safety harness sort of thing, which it came off when I opened him out of the cockpit, and you just kind of push it over. That way he's secure, and very interesting. Of course, we didn't see that in the film. And the inside isn't too detailed. It's basically more of that translucent blue plastic. You know, looks decent enough. and then just pull it up, and then you can pull the figure out just like that. And he came out with the whole seat out of that. There we go. So give you a look here at the figure itself. It's really nothing too special. It's very, very rubbery. At least it has some paint detail. You know, looks enough like the one that we saw in the film that Will Smith welcomed to Earth. And they didn't paint the eyes. I think they really should have painted like the facial details on this biomechanical suit. Of course, the alien itself is inside the head, and you can move them around, these tentacles. Believe it or not, this thing is articulated. You can swivel both of the arms, just like that. Same with the bottom half. You can swivel the torso, like the bottom half will spin all the way around, which is quite interesting. And then the seat components itself, this is where you're going to seat the alien right there. You just got to press it in, and then that's its harness that you put it over, kind of like it's riding a roller coaster or something. It's just kind of a weird little thing. I don't know why they made it so complicated. Then you'll see the hole right there. That's basically where you snap in the seat, just like that. Grab your alien and just seat him in there. Basically, you just got to line up his lower half with the seat. It is a little bit tricky. Once you do, he's in there, then you put the harness over his head, which I don't know how you can see after doing that. And then the hatch itself, right here, basically just goes like this. You just kind of push it into that little, like that. And then you kind of got to be careful because you want to make sure that you get this over the alien's head and his harness. If you ask me, not the best design for a vehicle ever. And there we go, finally. And then you'll see there's 2 more tabs right here. Basically, you're just going to push them in. And like I said, this isn't the best design ever. I mean, you can see that although I have it pressed in all the way, there's still kind of like a gap going all the way around it. So they really should have done this a little bit better. I mean, just something that opened more easily, that didn't have to be taken apart each time. It's just a little bit too laborious, and I would have preferred something a little bit more simplistic, which it's surprising that they made it that difficult, to be honest. As I mentioned when looking at the packaging, you also get the mission disc number 8, which all Independence Day toys had a disc. And if you have any questions or comments, you can give them a call. I'm not sure that number is still in service. You can give it a try if you want. But yeah, I mean, I can't really use this because I don't have a floppy disk reader. I imagine if I had one, I might be able to take a look at it, though there still wouldn't be any guarantee because I might not have the software necessary to run this. But yeah, you might be able to get it to work if you have the right equipment and right software. If not, then it's just basically at this point in time just a piece you're not going to have any use for. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Trendmasters Independence Day ID4 Electronic Alien Attacker from 1996. Overall, it's okay. The main issue that I have with this is the cockpit. It's just really difficult to use. For kids, I'd imagine this would be especially frustrating as it is quite time consuming and pretty difficult to figure out how to get the cockpit position just right, have the alien inside position just right, and get the alien into his seat with the harness and all that. Just seems a little bit excessive in my opinion. The action features of the vehicle itself are pretty fun. I mean, come on, who doesn't love launching missiles? I think launching missiles are great. The bombs are a little bit strange, the way they just kind of have to be placed in there like that, and then you got to press another button. It just seems like that's a little bit too much work. Why not just have one button to launch those? The electronic lights and sounds are actually pretty cool. I think they did a pretty nice job with that. Now that I see what it's like in person 20 years after the film and toy line were out, I don't really feel too bad about not ever owning it as a kid because it's really not as great as I expected it to be. I mean, if you just have it on your shelf, I think it's going to be a pretty nice looking display piece. Alright my friends, if you've enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Independence Day Alien Attacker, whether or not this is something you would add to your collection. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest news and updates. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Till next time my friends, bye bye.